Hello Internet, around here I go Pack Out of Diamonds, and welcome to my FannishReviews. Today is Easter, so I figured I wouldn't waste a hair and makeup day on just family, because, you know, or vice versa. I wouldn't waste makeup for video and also go see family. Really, it's just, I finally, for a day, can put up a face of makeup and it's not gonna go off in the pool, so. And also outside is beautiful, light is streaming in through my window, and it's helping out my equipment, so. This is my next installment of my reading diaries for the year. I have all of my books upside down right here ready. The first book of this section of reading diaries is going to be With Malice by Eileen Cook. I got this last Denver Comic-Con as an ARC giveaway at a library booth, which was awesome, and I will definitely want to track them down again. And I had a little bit of an inkling of what this book could be about. It says two friends, an exotic foreign location, and a potential for revenge and jealousy, and an accident that looks like it might have been murder. And so it doesn't really give you too much details on the plot, and so I definitely picked this up with the Italian background, like, ooh, a teenage murder mystery set in an exotic location. And a mild spoiler, just so you're not thinking that you're going to be running around Europe with two curious teens, is this actually takes place after the trip, and so you do sometimes get to be in Italy, but it's not really a big thing. I think it's Italy. I'm almost positive it's Italy. Again, this is my first book of the stack, the book that I read the longest ago, but I do remember enough about it. It was very intriguing. It's definitely set up as a mystery. You have an unreliable narrator, so you're also guessing the facts that you're getting from the narration. I really enjoyed it, honestly. I probably won't keep it. I will want to pass it on to a little free library. My next read was This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. I have read her first book. It's somewhere right here. Oh, there it is. First and Then is right there. And Emma Mills is a former, current, definite YouTuber at some point in her life's journey, and is very clever and smart, and she writes YA contemporary at the moment. This is her second book, and it is gorgeous, just like the first one. The dust jacket as well as the binding are just beautiful, and this was an instant purchase. I knew nothing about this book going in other than its beautiful decoration, because that's the kind of storyteller Emma Mills is to me. You just want to listen, or in this case read, and that's pretty much where I'm going to stay, other than I am going to confirm that it is about high school students. I just want you to know that it is contemporary, and it definitely faces painful situations in a realistic, albeit slightly fantastical way, because, I mean, you want to read it, but I definitely think it's honest with its emotions, so it's definitely a recommend. I will read anything that Emma writes. Next, I have Storm Siren by Mary Weber. I got this book at DragonCon, and it is signed by the author, as I met her there at one of her panels. It is the first in a series, and it's about a 17-year-old girl named Nim, who is an elemental magic person. And that is, number one, not okay for elementals, but also number two, historically, in this world, they have only been male. So a major portion of the conflict with Nim is that she's an illegal unicorn in this world. And then the next side of conflict is that she is also a slave. There is slavery in this world, and it is unpleasant to read about, as it should be whenever you're reading about slavery. Just my personal opinion. But I think there is enough conflict and fantasy in this that if you are a fantasy reader, you would really enjoy it. Also, she has to hide herself and who she truly is, and so there's some conflict there as far as her character. And there is a fair amount of violence. It is set in a fantastical war zone, but also she is someone of a lower caste and class and is living in a world of privilege for the first time in her life. So, well, I'm not going to say anything more because of spoilers, and I like for people to read their own adventures. Okay, so Gemina, the Illuminae Files #2 by Amie, Kaufman, and Kristoff. The first book, right back there, Illuminae, is the book that I can't stop recommending to people. It was my biggest Hulu read of 2016, and this was its sequel. I picked it up in November. It is a sequel. It picks up right after or very close to after the events of the first book, but it has new characters right away, and it had been over a year since I read the first one, so I was reading these new characters like, do I know these people? Like, am I supposed to remember these people from the last book? After about 100 pages, I went back to the review on Goodreads on the first book and I was like, yeah, no, these aren't the same people. That being said, I still want to go back and get both audio books of these books. I'm not a big audiobook person, but these are productions. The book itself is a production. If you've remembered this from my hauls or the previous, it is a dossier story, so the narrative is very here and there. You get it in chunks, you get it from different voices, and it is amazing, and I love these books, and I can't wait for the next one. And now we've got Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, which if you've seen my previous video, you know that I bought on holiday in Amsterdam. It has been on my radar basically since publication, and now this month sometime it is released as a film. This is another book where the narration is not what I find as typical and has a lot of texts or messages back and forth between characters, and so it's really interesting to see those things translated to the screen. So I think this is one of those books in cinema adventure storytelling that would be a challenge, and I hope that they rise and succeed in it. I don't know if this is contemporary or set in the future. I'm really not sure. And for the last installment of this video, I have The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, a vintage classic of a 30-year-old book that should be and will be better be considered a classic 100 years down the road. It is contemporary in the sense that it was written 30 years ago, and I think that says a lot about your political movement if you think this book was written to attack you. You know. Another major thing about reading this book is while a lot of people read it in high school, I never did. Now is being adapted into a Hulu series that premieres Wednesday the 20-something, and I wanted to be able to read it before I watch it because the trailers look fantastic and very compelling, and I wanted to have more knowledge on the original source material. Yeah, that's the word I'm probably looking for. And it was very good, very hard to read. A little bit spoiled because it, again, has been out for 30 years, so I knew what the major twist was, but for the sake of not spoiling that for you, I'm not going to talk about it, but it is very good, and I would definitely recommend reading it. It covers very hard subjects, and from a narrator who I would say is actually also unreliable, because a little bit of maybe brainwashing, and actually kind of the thought that you might not be able to help being brainwashed if you're surrounded by constant rhetoric, and that does change your internal bias, and it takes a lot of self-work to either maintain your original true self or fight back to that original true self and not be changed by an oppressive situation. So that's good and light and easy to end on. That being said, these are the 6 books that I've read since the last installment of this video series. I really like doing it this way, so I hope you enjoy this, that it's not monthly, it's just whenever I feel inspired and have the time to record. So of course, leave any reactions in the comments to these books, and definitely let me know if there's any specific book that you want a review video. Let me know in the comments how you want me to continue delving into these books should I feel passionate about it and have the time, of course. And now, after this video, I can put them away on the shelves. Woo-hoo! I think that's also another satisfying part of these videos, is that I can put away my piles, because I'm a very good piler. And here we are on YouTube, so of course if you would like to subscribe to see more of these videos and like this video in support of my content, I would love it if you would want to. And any of those other call to actions like notifications and sharing and stuff that you feel like you want to do, I would enjoy that process as much as you hopefully will. And until my next video, happy reading.